Moments ago, we reported that Canopy Growth is near a deal to buy Acreage Holdings, and the stocks you see there jumping across the board in the after-hour session. This adds to the flurry of deals we've already seen in this space. And of course, it is Weed Week on Fast Money, and we're going to keep the good times rolling, so to speak, with our next guest, who is not only an heir to the Jim Beam bourbon fortune, but also the founder and CEO of a booming cannabis company. Ben Kovler of Green Thumb Industries joins us now. Ben, great to have you with us.
Great. Thanks for being here.
First, what are your thoughts on this deal? I mean, this is a great day, I would think, for the multi-state operators, because the argument had always been that they are trading at a discount to their Canadian cousins because here it's not federally legal, and so it limits their options.
Yeah, this only reinforces what we've been talking about for so long, that the opportunity in cannabis is here in the U.S., and this is where the market is. This is a $50 to $80 billion industry where total market capitalization is still under $15 billion. So it's a really exciting time. And you can see that the U.S. is where the operators want to be. And it's not only Canadian cannabis operators, but it's food and beverage, alcohol, tobacco, CPG businesses that are studying the space.
So basically, they will find a way to get around the restrictions on their business in investing in a federally illegal business, is what you're thinking.
Everybody is studying it. In order to have success, you have to have access to capital, and it's about the cost of capital. And so we've built a business in the U.S. in limited license markets across the country where everybody else has been restricted from accessing. And so the tide is changing and the things are moving, and it's quite an exciting time.
You take a look at this deal in particular, though, in this space and what it means for you, and you see Constellation having a stake in Canopy, Canopy buying a multi-state operator. And do you think now that your options in terms of who you might combine with down the road, either be sooner rather or later, has actually widened?
We have to see what the details of this deal are and exactly how it's structured and what it means for shareholders, what it means for the business. The way we look at things at GTI is through our lens and what's best for our shareholders and how we create value. So I'll be really interested to study the details of this.
Have you been approached by Canopy?
We are talking to lots of people in all kinds of sectors. The phone rings a lot. It's an exciting time in U.S. cannabis because this is where the opportunity is.
Okay, so in terms of where you think it's most promising, I mean, a lot of states are opening up. There are 33 states currently with some sort of legal marijuana program, whether it be recreational or medical. How do you look at licenses? Because, for instance, just because New York might legalize recreational, it might not be a market that could be profitable for you.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time studying it. Built the business 5 years ago, operating in limited license markets, starting in Illinois, Nevada, Massachusetts, Maryland, and now in Pennsylvania, Ohio, New Jersey, Connecticut, all of which are studying and figuring out how to legalize, tax, and regulate. Fundamentally, in the U.S., cannabis stands in the cross-section of the opioid epidemic that is killing people. Cannabis offers relief for that. And U.S. states that are bankrupt and need revenue. And cannabis is an opportunity for monstrous tax revenue.
Do you think that case is really being borne out in that California, for instance, last year, the amount of state tax revenue they brought in from cannabis was about a third of what had been projected, and that there's actually so much competition from the black market, which obviously doesn't have to pay overhead, they don't pay taxes or anything like that, that it's difficult for these businesses to thrive and to actually generate that tax revenue that states wanted to have.
So California is an anomaly, the oldest and biggest market. But if you look at Nevada with over 100 million, Colorado with over 100 million, and you're about to see what's going to happen in Massachusetts as adult use tax and regulate takes over, the dollars are very real. We're able to build schools and help communities.
How important is capital at this point? I mean, capital is very difficult to come by for this industry at this point. How important is capital in terms of being able to buy the licenses in the states that open up?
So part of our edge is able to win a license in a competitive application process. For example, New Jersey had 146 applicants last year. We finished second. So we're able to win a license, which is most accretive to our shareholders. That's everything we do. But we're studying the market for licenses and M&A. We've been very active in the M&A environment, and it's an exciting opportunity because we can get real synergies through acquisitions.
What do you think happens tomorrow with your stock? And I'm asking this in sort of a broader sense, in that this deal will theoretically highlight the value or the discount that multi-state operators were trading at versus Canadian companies.
Yeah, we went public a year ago on that discount, knowing the opportunity is here. I think tomorrow is another step along the way of the U.S. investors starting to understand that the opportunity is in U.S. MSOs that are listed in Canada, but this is where the opportunity is. And so I think you see continued interest in the space.
Is your phone ringing as we speak?
Not yet.
All right. Ben, thanks a lot for joining us. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. Ben Kovler of GTI, Green Thumb Industries.
What's interesting, quickly, I mean, Constellation Brands, I mean, you look at a stock that really troughed late last year, earlier this year. It's been off to the races since. I'm not suggesting it's their investment in the industry, but it's got something to do with it clearly. And to Ben's point, I mean, there are so many industries going to be disrupted. We talked about cosmetics, spirits, beer, the whole thing. It's not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, and if you just look at the sector in general, I think you get the valuations much higher because of this. Could spark a really big rally.